This is as close as we can get to an important Anasazi site called Cowboy Wash, which is right over here on the south slope of this mountain. That's Ute Mountain. Now, Cowboy Wash, it started in 1150 and it only lasted until 1175. So this was right after the exodus from Chaco Canyon. And at 1175, Chaco sends one of their imperial war parties over here. They killed everybody. There's signs that it was just a massacre. There's nobody to bury them. And there was also signs of cannibalism.
Still remember, cannot forget the flower in your hair. Looking forward, listen to my heart, listen and shed a tear. Waiting for you long time, baby, was so hard for me to do. You said me and you forever will be one, but now you're gone. And I still remember, cannot forget the brightness of your smile. Soft embraces, look into your eyes, the whisper in my ear. Waiting for you long time, baby, was so hard for me to do. You said me and you forever will be one, but now you're gone.
Leaving Lake Powell on the morning of October 6th next to the Colorado River. Absolutely spectacular. Beautiful location. Loving it. But it's also really difficult to get in and out of. We've got soft, deep sand here. And I've been watching people getting stuck in the sand all day yesterday when I was here. So far, nobody yet today. It's the real deal. We are now in the desert. There's these huge plateaus. Makes you feel like you're in a John Wayne movie. Gonna get my ass out of here. It's been hard. It's been a struggle, I won't lie. The key to driving in the sand is choose a speed and do not stop.
Waiting for you long time, baby, was so hard for me to do. Oh no, me and you forever will be one, but now you're gone. One, but now you're gone.
All right, made it out of the sand trap, and now we are on our way to the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon Ho. That is a long way down right there. And then you go to the next level, and there's just levels of plateaus. Levels, I mean, like, that's huge. And then that's huge. And then, wow, it keeps going. This is amazing. There's just no words to describe the immensity, the depth, the grandeur, the spectacular Grand Canyon. There's just no possible way that I could say anything that could give you remotely any idea, any concept of how incredible this view is. And of course, what do we have down there? What river is that I see? Who is responsible for carving out this huge canyon out of this otherwise rolling plateaus kind of grassland? It's the Colorado River. Here we are at Wupatki, our ancestral Puebloan site. We're just a stone's throw away from the Grand Canyon. And the importance of this particular part of this site is that it is the furthest north ball court in the Mesoamerican world. But wait, you might ask, this isn't Mesoamerica. This is too far north. Well, not only the culture at Chaco, but we also have this ball court. And this ball court is part of a system which goes all the way from Nicaragua north through all of the Mesoamerican sites, whether it's Toltec or Aztec, even Mayan sites that have ball courts. This was a part of a intertribal game. Who knows, maybe during ancient times, they had something very much kind of like a World Cup. And we've seen already evidence that Chaco was like an imperial center for a Toltec style of theocracy. And to further prove that there's Mesoamerican influences in the ancestral Puebloan society and culture, we have the ball court, which is only found in Mesoamerican sites and ruins that were large enough to be able to have this kind of sophisticated society and culture flourishing. Part of the mystery for me is how it all just so abruptly ended. It all just stopped at 1300. From here all the way over to Chaco in New Mexico, and from Chaco all the way north into Mesa Verde in Colorado, and all the way into parts of Utah as well. It all is a very large area, and it's hard for me to believe that there would have been a war big enough in tribal times to have displaced all the people in this whole region of the Four Corners. That would have had to have been a huge war. Now, I do have my own theory. I think that around the end of the 13th century, there was a combination of things. War had been going on for generations, and there was so much death. You combine this with now they're in another big drought. And these cities, these pueblos, would have become very difficult to defend during these droughts. And they also would have been huge targets. They would have been sites where the different tribes would have wanted to come and attack and continue on their war, which is one of the reasons why these pueblos, these villages, started in the first place. They started as a way to defend yourself against marauders and raiders and imperial Chaco forces. So why did they leave? Well, the droughts made it very difficult to prosper. And then on top of that, they've got this intertribal war going on. And it made it very difficult to defend. And the cons would have outweighed the pros of staying in a built-up society like this. So they just said, it's too dangerous, too risky to stay here. Let's just leave and go to other places. We can return to a little bit more of our hunter-gatherer roots. But if you would talk to those tribes today, the tribes around the Rio Grande area, they'll tell you that they never really fully abandoned these sites. They'll tell you, yeah, we left, but we'd come back to pay tribute to our ancestors in these what are now sacred sites. And this is considered hallowed ground. And places like this would have been advantageous in the beginning when a lot of people needed to come together in order to fight against the Chaco war parties. And they also would have enjoyed having those remnants of their former society. But then again, when drought strikes at the end of the 13th century, that combined with war makes these places too dangerous and too unhospitable, so they left. So we can see how what finally ended this whole society, what made it so that the people just walked away from these sites, it was their inability to deal with the climate change because they were fighting amongst themselves.